This is a call for an uprising. Welcome to today's show. I wanted to do a video here on my regular channel because I'm actually waiting still for approval on my new channel. Some of you don't know I have a new channel, and I'm going to get into some of this stuff that normally I only cover on the website, but I'm going to cover here today and leave this video up for a day or two and risk a strike because really I don't care right now. I want to talk about this stuff, and I also want to make sure you guys don't forget about me in the meantime. So first, the other channel is linked below. Make sure you sub to it immediately. It will have a new name in due time. Just sub to it. Don't worry, you will not get any weird content showing up in your feed. The next time you see my content, it will be from the channel. You'll know it's me based on my voice. And of course, the website at callforanuprising.com, where I'm talking about all this type of stuff. That's where I've been uploading the last week exclusively, talking about things like the New York City nuclear bomb PSA that they put out. I mean, the stuff is getting so unbelievably ridiculous, and I'll get into it right now. But check out the website if you haven't. I highly recommend it. It's $2.99 a month. It's 10 cents a day. It's the price of a cup of coffee a month. If it's something you can't afford, it's perfectly understandable. But if you like the content, you want to watch the content every day, and also if you want to just be in the forum, where you can share all sorts of stuff and learn all sorts of stuff. If you're new to this, if you're advanced in what's going on, you can interact still with like-minded people. Hard to find these days as we continue to see the dumbing down of our society. I want to start here and talk about COVID-19. Oh my goodness, I could say the words, well, I'll say them now. COVID-19 and the vaccine, because the vaccine's not going away. And the WHO recently came out again and pretty much said COVID's going nowhere. And they're also talking about bringing back masks. Now, they're well aware, because remember, this is their game, and they know how people are going to respond. So they're continually trying to take away the rights of people who will not go along with their transmutation that they're creating. But they also have half of the population completely dumbed down, under mind control, so bad we're at a point where we have people in Congress talking about what men and women are, and the WHO themselves redefining what women are. That's right, the WHO. The same people who are telling us we need to be vaccinated are telling us that there's more than two genders. So does anybody see what's going on here? We're taking medical advice from people who are questioning the most basic science. Boys have a penis, girls have a vagina. There's no debating that. There's no arguing with it. But with these people, if you do debate and argue it, you're a phobic, you're a hater, you're anti-you-know-what medic. And I'll get into that in a little bit more detail. But listen to the WHO talking about how COVID's not going away, as well as Klaus Schwab saying that the world will only be safe once everyone's vaccinated, because they want everyone to mutate and connect to their Wi-Fi. We all know the story, but take a listen.
New waves of the virus demonstrate again that the COVID-19 is nowhere near over. As the virus pushes at us, we must push back. We're in a much better position than at the beginning of the pandemic. Of course, we have made good progress. We have safe and effective tools that prevent infections, hospitalizations, and deaths. However, we should not take them for granted.
You see, if you look at the map, where just a couple of months ago it was a lot of green and some yellow, now we're seeing a fair amount of orange, which means you really should, in an indoor setting, a congregate setting, be wearing masks. It's just the appropriate thing to do to protect yourself and your family.
Waves of lockdowns and the stresses of finding work or returning to workplaces have even amplified the existential and often silent mental health crisis. So, what should you do? You are calling for the international community to safeguard vaccine equity, to respond to COVID-19 and prevent future health crises. Nobody will be safe if not everybody is vaccinated.
So they're flat out preparing everybody for the next wave, which is very, very close. It will probably be in August. Last year, I believe Delta came in August. I had a lot of videos about Delta Airlines. The Delta came in August. I remember doing that last summer. And, September became big. They need to do another run to obviously get these suckers boosted. And that's what they are, complete suckers. If anybody's still... Look, there's a lot of people who have messaged me and have said stuff, like they just found out and figured out what's going on, or at least woke up to what's going on after they got their first dose or their second dose, the first round of it. And, they're very scared of what they put in their body, and they should be, because the long-term effects are bad. But there's still people out there. We have to continually warn people out there, because there's still people who are going to line up and go get their boosts. Now, we know the majority of these people are all flamers. The majority of these people all can't define what a man or a woman is, because they're all mentally insane. So they have no problem putting these nano poisons in their bodies, but we still need to sound the alarm and help these people wake up to see what's going on. So those types of videos are available on the website to help you wake up and see. The majority of you obviously already know, but they're planning on coming out with another variant. They're already talking about the newest variant. Why? Well, because if they don't keep you in fear and they don't constantly bring it up, and they don't constantly politicize it, by politicizing it and making it about left versus right, even though I've said from the get-go, the right pushes the vaccine as much as the left. There's only a few things they all agree on. The vaccine and Ukraine, okay? Because these are New World Order agendas. Trump's the one who rolled out the vaccine, so he's not anti-vax. For people out there who are like, Trump's trying to stop, okay? The virus is the potion. It's very, very simple. And the people who have taken it are shedding the virus onto other people. They're walking, ticking time bombs. That's what they are. They are, everything is inverted. Remember this, okay? Aleister Crowley, who I've constantly talked about to wake people up to what's going on, preached to do things in reverse, that this was an inverted world. Everything is the opposite of what you perceive. So the people out there who are going getting vaccinated are mentally so under mind control, it's insane, that they honestly think that people who don't are bad people. They're horrible people. They're not doing the right thing for humanity. And what's really happening is they're taking in the virus, thinking that, it's not alive, even though I'm taking it in, because I'm taking it to get the antibodies to fight all this crap that they believe because they're suckers. They're taking it into their body, and they're now giving it to other people. So they need to continually do this, because eventually, when they divide the states, because they're going to divide this into a left-right, this civil war is going to, there's going to be Republican states and liberal states with different sets of rules, because they know they're not getting the guns from anybody who has them. And everything that they're doing is only making it worse for them. They should know this. When you have Gavin Newsom coming out and telling everybody that California's gonna be a gun-free state, and people see that the government is just seizing control. They see what's going on in China. They see what's going on in Australia. They see what's going on in the Netherlands, where they're telling people to kill their cattle off, which I talk about, on the website. And I believe I have a video up here, where they're telling people to kill off your cattle because of climate change. So they have to kill off their businesses and kill off their livelihood for the climate. And these mentally warped people are believing all this stuff like it's fact. They are so unbelievably gone mentally. Gone. There is nothing in their heads. And the more they put the boost in, there's going to be nothing in there, because, well, we know what happens with that. So anyway, on top of this stuff, with COVID coming back and with vaccines being pushed again and boosts being pushed again and masks being pushed again, which I guarantee the majority of people are not going to comply, because the majority of people can't trust these organizations, which they shouldn't. I just did a video on the website. Again, they talked about weed killer. 80% of people are urinating out weed killer, according to a new study. Out of 2,000 something tested, 1,800 were peeing out weed killer, which means that they're eating it, which means the FDA is approving it and putting it on the shelves. The FDA, the WHO, the CDC, these organizations, we're supposed to just blindly trust, not elected. These people are just put there, and we're supposed to believe everything they say because, no, they're doctors, they know better, or they're doctors, they care about us. Oh, they do. Then why do they charge you when you're sick? Why are hospital bills so expensive to go to the hospital? All these other things. Oh, but when it comes to this, they want to give us all free. They care so much about us. They care so much about the Georgia Guidestones and getting the population down. All these rich people talk about depopulation. I mean, you literally have Klaus Schwab talking about the world won't be safe till everybody has it, and then at the same time talking about how everyone's going to have a chip implanted in them. No coincidences there. But here's the World Health Organization. If you need more proof that this is an organization that doesn't know anything about science, quote unquote science, what we're told science is, here's the WHO coming out and telling you that gender's not limited to male or female. So the most basic thing that we all know, it's the most basic common sense would be knowing what a man and a woman is, a boy and a girl, right? They're telling us that doesn't exist anymore. And these mentally warped people actually believe this because they think they're being politically correct. Listen to this woman in Congress talk about men becoming pregnant. And this is happening in Congress. I mean, what in the hell is happening to our society? Well, we know what's happening. This is Satan's society, and it's rising up.
Mr. Bridges, you said several times, you've used a phrase, I want to make sure I understand what you mean by it. You've referred to people with a capacity for pregnancy. Would that be women?
Many women, cis women, have the capacity for pregnancy. Many cis women do not have the capacity for pregnancy. There are also trans men who are capable of pregnancy, as well as non-binary people who are capable of pregnancy.
So this isn't really a women's rights issue.
We can recognize that this impacts women while also recognizing that it impacts other groups. Those things are not mutually exclusive, Senator Hawley.
Oh, so your view is that the core of this right then is about what?
So I want to recognize that your line of questioning is transphobic, and it opens up trans people to violence by not recognizing that.
Wow, you're saying that I'm opening up people to violence by asking whether or not women are the folks who can have pregnancies?
So I want to note that 1 out of 5 transgender persons have attempted suicide. So I think it's important
Because of my line of questioning? So we can't talk about it?
Because denying that trans people exist and pretending not to know that they exist
I'm
is
denying that trans
dangerous.
people exist by asking you if you're talking about women having pregnancies?
Do you believe that men can get pregnant?
No, I don't think women can
So
get
you're
pregnant.
denying that trans people exist?
And that leads to violence? Is this how you run your classroom? Are students allowed to question you? Or are
Absolutely.
they also treated like this? Where
No,
they're
they're
told
allowed
that
to
they're
question me.
opening up people to violence
We have a good
by
time in my
questioning?
class. You should join.
Oh, I bet.
You might learn a lot.
Wow, I would learn a lot. I've learned a lot
I
just in this
know,
exchange.
absolutely.
Extraordinary.
I mean, we are the ones who need to rise up against this stuff. We have to just, what they do is they dismiss everything. They just dismiss it. If you question it, there's a phobia, right? So if you question this trans stuff, you're a phobic. That would mean that you're afraid. Nobody is afraid of anyone in the LGBT. In fact, it's the opposite afraid. They're the weakest people alive. They're mentally weak, they're physically weak, and they're not a threat to anybody. Their cancel culture only works on people who submit to it, not people like me, not people like you who listen. So they sit there and they label it a phobia to dismiss it. Oh, you're questioning if a man can have a baby? Oh, you're causing suicides. Huh? What? Sounds like another group of people that if you question anything in literally the books that they have and they publicly acknowledge as their teachings, that talks about doing certain things with children, talks about pretty much the destruction of humanity, you're Semitic if you question that. And all you have to do is look at their books and say, well, why is this in there? Oh, how dare you even ask the question? Does it seem familiar? Because it's the same exact thing. This group of people that now identifies as woke or liberal, literally you can't ask questions, you can't deny what they say, or you're a phobic or you're Semitic, and you're not allowed speech. And people don't realize what they're doing here, what they're trying to get across. Now, what's next for them is obviously they know that they're not going to convince people like me and you to go along with this nonsense. But what they need to do is, for them, what they want to do is indoctrinate this on the children. Our children, your children, my children, whoever's children, the new children that are born, that this is normal world stuff. This is normal world protocol. That's why they want to get it in schools and get it, so that kids don't know any different. The world that we grew up in doesn't exist anymore. That they'll only know that you pick your gender and all that stuff. And if they heard, oh, well, if you have this private part, you're this or that would be crazy to them. And the longer that this goes on, then they'll be fully indoctrinated and they'll have their new world order in place. But for the time being, they're going to create a civil war here. And they're going to keep us divided, which at this point, keep these people away from me. To be honest with you, I'll be where I am, on my own. And if any of these people step foot on my property or where I am and they act like this woman in Congress, good luck. Coming there telling you, these people are literally going to come to your land and stuff and tell you that it's theirs too, that we all share, but we have to agree with their insanity, which is what this is. It's utter insanity. This isn't like disagreeing on things and like, oh, I don't agree with this person and their motives here or what they said. We're talking about agreeing with insanity, okay? Being redefined as science. The who tells everyone they need to be vaccinated, telling you that there's not just males and females anymore. Who authorized these people? Shouldn't they all lose their jobs? Should anybody take the vaccine serious when they're telling you that there's no limit on what your gender is? It's insanity. Utter insanity. This world is burning around us on purpose. And that's what the young kids out there need to understand. They're doing it on purpose. They're driving everyone insane on purpose. The mental health stuff is their doing. It's the mainstream media's doing. They're making us pull our hair out and go, wow. But it's working because these people are so warped. They actually believe this crap. They actually believe that trans and gay people are oppressed people. Like a gay person can't get it. And you're completely not even a real person at this point. Then they're like, oh, we're so oppressed. No, the problem is that nobody cares. I don't care what your preference is. I don't approve of it, but I don't care. Go ahead and do it. Stay away from kids, stay away from schools, stay away from trying to push this ideology that you're born a certain way, and go do what you want in your own bedroom, and then you'll count on Judgment Day to God for it. That's how we all feel. But that's not enough because they need to indoctrinate your kids with it. This perverse, sick mindset that they all have. But at the same time, when we look at the chaos going on that they're creating, the people who are going to get run over are these people because they're weak people. They're insane people. And just because they're insane doesn't mean, oh, they're insane, they could hurt me or harm me. They don't have an independent thought in their mind to make a decision. Every decision they make is formulated. It's a decision that they make based on what they hear from a box, from a musician, from an influencer. They're zombies. This is the world we're living in, folks. We're bringing back boosters. We're bringing back masks. We have the same organization that's doing this, who apparently is the World Health Organization. Remember, if you question them here on YouTube, you get a strike, so you can count this as getting a strike, but I'm holding up my middle finger to YouTube. Deal with it. And again, like I said earlier, I'm trying to get around the algorithm to get another channel up. It's in a review process. I gotta wait. So I'm putting this up just so you know I'm still here. I'm still alive. Other people are like, is he canceled? I try to explain it. I know everybody doesn't watch every video. I know some things go in one ear out the other because you hear me say it all the time about my channels. So look, I got another channel link below. That's where I'll be uploading in the future as soon as it's approved. And I have the website if you want to hear daily content. I thank everyone for being here. Hope you guys aren't pulling your hair out. Understand that they're doing this on purpose and what's coming is coming. And we're all here to endure it. And we will endure. Don't give up. Don't give in. I thank you again. God bless all of you and your families.